If you're watching this in 2025 and you are a copywriter or you're an aspiring copywriter, then you should know by now that email copywriting is by far one of the most swamped business models on the net. It is harder than ever to convince prospects that you are worth anywhere between maybe $500 to upwards of $5,000 every single month in payments just to write their email communications. Because whilst these like guru maxes are out here claiming that the problem is it's popular because it works and there is no competition because most email copywriters suck, the full story is different. Because email copywriting has become a trendy biz op that has been swamped with new people that want to make money in this market. But the reality of the situation is that this is actually a very highly simplified version of the real deal. It's very much like Maharishi Mahesh Yogi in the 1960s. Now, if you don't know who he is, look him up. But he contributed a lot to New Age spiritual movements and stuff in the Western world. But Hindus in India literally commented on what he was doing and said that he was teaching a highly simplified version of Hinduism adapted for Westerners to actually understand. In the same way that that is a highly simplified version of Hinduism, email copywriting is a highly simplified version of actually knowing like direct response copywriting and advertising as a whole to appeal to the oblivious mass market, basically. And you can see this literally because a load of the content that info sellers will make to try and lure you in, literally they have things in the headlines like any idiot can do this and things like that. So there you go, it's literally right there in front of you. Before the internet, copywriters did not specialize in one single thing like email now. They had to sell through many different things to new people, which we will call cold traffic today. People who have never heard of the product, never heard of them. The thing is, when you're actually writing to an email list, you're selling to a pre-sold audience. They already know, they already kind of know that they want to buy from you. So all you do is you just send them an email and say, hey, buy from me, and they will if they actually care. That's literally what like writing to warm traffic is like as an email copywriter. Even like direct mail specialists way back when, like Eugene Schwartz in the 60s, even they did not have anything to rely on. They were still writing to strangers through their direct mail advertisements. It was all about writing to strangers that had never heard of the brand, never heard of the product. These older advertising people actually made more money and sold more products than any email copywriter on the net. Because even those like inspirational guru figures that you see, literally they made maybe a few thousand doing the actually selling like email copywriting services or whatever before quickly pivoting to selling info because they thought it was easier and they could make more out of it. That's where most of their money comes from, selling overpriced info to the oblivious markets, like mass markets. That's where they make most of their money. That's where this social proof that they put for their personal brands actually comes from. Okay, so you might be thinking at this point, what do I do? Email copywriting is massively oversaturated. Surely the golden days of being able, like everything just being like writing to new customers that have never heard of the product is all gone because of the internet. But that is not true at all. Do you need a course to win? Absolutely not, right? I'm not selling you anything. I might publish books or create like a premium, like Clyde Bedell level course to a select few people in like 20, 30 years. Maybe I will, but I have nothing to sell you right now. Almost everybody that buys those courses anyway, that the Guru Maxes are selling, literally they find it's not worth the price. They find that it's overpriced and the content in there is just terrible. Every person I know that's bought this stuff, sometimes just out of curiosity, the content is terrible. Even the people that you think are more legitimate with their like blunt personas or colloquial humor, yet even they are just basically they're just borderline fraudulent. And I'm going to be the first person to say this, and this is if you're an aspiring copywriter or ad agency owner, or even if you're doing it like right now and making money writing copy online, you will get more out of $50 worth of books than you will than over $1,000 worth of courses online. I promise you. you will get more out of $50 worth of books than you will than more than $1,000 worth of courses online. And that is just a fact. Because why? Those books were written by people who made millions and millions of dollars doing real advertising, the big full thing. So read them and you'll realize that actually the main principle here of copywriting, of advertising, the main objective is literally to sell stuff and to sell to new people, because that is the real skill that you need. You need to be able to actually write to people who've never heard of your product or brand and actually convert them and turn them into buying customers. That's the real skill that you need, because so many people are complaining that it's difficult to make money as an email copywriter. This is obviously both because you don't seem credible because of the mass influx of just like newbies who aren't really very good at their job. They're pretty incompetent. And also because sometimes it's just a problem that doesn't exist. You're trying to sell some people email services and they don't need them. Not every business needs it. But I'll tell you what every business does need, unless they want to just cease to exist: customers. That's how businesses run. They need customers. So if you can write stuff that gets new customers, you become invaluable to any business. And you don't even need to then learn how to negotiate deals as well, because this is the thing. It's horrendously ironic that so many email copywriters try and negotiate deals with business owners, but they can't, despite the fact that they're professionally, they self-proclaim professionals. They can't even negotiate these deals. It literally becomes easier to, because the business owners actually need what you're offering them, which is selling them real advertising to get real results, which is to get new customers to their business. That is what you actually need to learn. And this is not a trendy business opportunity. This will never expire. I predict that in about 6 months, the Guru Maxes are going to get in on selling cold traffic as a unique mechanism, despite the fact that they don't know anything about it. But they will try. Don't listen to them, because cold traffic at its core is what advertising really is. It's selling to new customers. That's what it really is. That's what you need to learn. And this is never going to expire, because for as long as capitalism exists, we will need advertising. So this is something that you can keep doing for the long term, and you can make so much more money doing. That's exactly what I'm doing. That is literally what I'm doing for my career and everything. Okay, advertising, real advertising. Because what you have to write is cold traffic material. So it's typically top of sales funnel stuff like ads, VSLs, advertorials, sales pages and sales letters, UGC scripts where relevant, so like YouTube scripts, etc. Things like that. And how do you get started doing this? Just literally start reading the fundamental direct response books. Actually learn how to do your job. It's ridiculous the amount of email copywriters, all of their knowledge comes from guru courses or these modern books that are just terrible and just worse versions of the old ones. My recommended reading list will always be this. Start with Ogilvy on Advertising, written by David Ogilvy. It's a simple overview of everything you need to know. Read that first. Claude Hopkins' Scientific Advertising, which is a little bit more complicated, but it starts going a bit more in depth on how it works, almost like as a science. That's the entire point of the book. Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. This is amazing, amazing stuff. And it will be quite hard to get a physical copy of Breakthrough Advertising, if you get what I mean. And don't worry, because Eugene Schwartz has been dead for years. The money's not going to him. So if you get my drift there, The Boron Letters by Gary Halbert, who's a lot more contemporary copywriter. And if you want a special bonus book as well, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. You don't have to read this one, and you might have already read it, but it's good for sales stuff pretty much and social stuff. Industry classic books that will teach you the basics of direct response, the fundamentals of it, and what is excellence if not the fundamentals done over and over again. That is what you're going to actually get out of reading those proper books and actually learning how to write to new customers. Because the thing is, you don't get better at copywriting by writing to people who are pre-sold. You don't get good at writing to people who are not yet sold and don't know anything by practicing how to write to people who are already pre-sold. But it does work the other way around. You get better at writing to warm traffic if you're good at writing to cold traffic. So this is what you should be focusing on, okay? This is what, if you actually care about advertising, which and is very important actually to success, and one of my videos I made on that exact same topic got massive reception, massive results, and everybody was agreeing with that. So you need to actually care about it for starters. If you just want a trendy biz op, hop on to the next trendy thing, which I think is like TikTok Shop or something, or like growth operating. There'll be something new come out soon, I'm sure. But then do that if that's all you care about. But if you care about winning long term and making millions and millions, doing actually good advertising, actually making an impact, actually creating something worthwhile, then you need to learn how to sell to people who have never heard of you. That is, if you remember nothing else from this video, remember this. If you want to succeed in advertising, if you want to be a successful copywriter, you need to learn how to sell to people who've never heard of you. I hope that helped. Thank you for listening. And if you want to go ahead and scroll down below and hear some more from me on just general lessons I get, moves I'm making in my business, updates on content like this, etc., 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 my email list is down below. You can sign up. It's completely free, no strings attached. Go ahead and sign up to that right now. I think you'll find it really valuable, and you'll get the best of me because I'm a far better writer than I am a speaker. And if you also want to reach out to me, you can connect with me on Instagram. I will actually read your message, unlike a person you're trying to cold outreach to. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you very soon.